I'm sold on that. I'm really looking forward to that. We've got more to look at with that later on, probably next week, week after. There's a half-hour documentary about it that I want to watch. This is the one I'm not sold on, because it's not my type of game.
Everyone, we are Sandfall Interactive, and welcome to our manor.
So sell me on it, Sandfall Interactive.
We are a small studio based in Montpellier, France, working on our first game, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
I love how many new studios are popping up, though.
RPG set in a fantasy version of late 19th century Belle Epoque France.
Here we are.
Our grand adventure in game development actually started as a solo passion project. I wanted to create something like the JRPGs with turn-based combat I grew up with and loved, but that fully leveraged the latest tech, refreshed the genre with new features, and took place in a compelling world. I knew I needed help to realize my dream. First, I turned to a programmer I knew would get it.
Guillaume and I started trading ideas right away, and that quickly turned into trading files back and forth. Soon, I was creating the first prototypes of the reactive turn-based system, combining real-time offense and defense element, and a cinematic battle camera system.
So it is real-time button bashy.
First version of these features, we felt we had something both challenging and fun.
As Tom and I went back and forth and iterated on game elements, a vision started to come together, and I shared it with an old friend from university.
Guillaume and I are both passionate gamers, and when he describes the project,
Yeah, there's a lot of non-Ubisoft European, like indie and smaller studios making real big plays with some potentially big projects.
Creative vision, and we had that defined by 3 core elements.
Regardless if this is a game I want to play or not, I hope it does well, because I love seeing independents coming up and doing something big and vast like this. I think it's cool.
And a world that is completely original, beautiful.
The concept art is stunning. I can't fault it at all. That's beautiful.
A group of friends with a shared vision and the drive to make something great.
This too is your legacy.
Core to every great RPG is a compelling story. And Guillaume and I spent 4 years intensively developing and refining ours. And that started with the hook.
Okay.
67 years ago, a massive slumbering paintress and a monolith appeared with no warning. Once a year, the paintress wakes and paints a number on her monolith, and everyone who has passed that age is erased. Every year that number ticks down, and everyone dies younger and younger.
I'm too old to play this game then.
Determined to fight until their
Yeah, I agree, Catherine. Definitely need new things. Everything was getting a bit stale, wasn't it?
Expeditioners, we honor your dedication.
Guillaume and I knew early on that we didn't want to focus on good versus evil. What's interesting to us are people who, yes, are flawed, but who care deeply about each other.
Okay.
And conflicts arise because they have different perspectives on what needs to be done.
I'm sorry about earlier.
We wanted our story to feel dark and mature.
It's very Thanos, yeah.
Who feel like real people with real experiences.
I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets.
Jennifer English? Shadowheart.
Existential threat while struggling with loss and grief. And it's rooted in the characters' relationships, both to each other and to themselves.
What are we gonna do, huh? Tell me. What are we gonna do?
In a world like this, how does one stay hopeful or make peace with their fate? What duty do we owe to each other or to ourselves? These questions are deeply personal to me, and they permeate the story behind the story.
Know that Lumiere fights with you. Tomorrow comes Expedition 33.
The characters all have their own motivations and perspectives. Gustave and Lune are deeply invested in the
Do you think
mission, even if they fight
the guy that's talking now, the studio head,
not only to their family,
he's
central to their identity
created the main character
Protocol
like him?
doesn't cover every contingency.
There's
You know that.
Contrast that with Ciel, whose darkest days have already happened.
What are the stars whispering to you? Actually, I'm the one whispering to them. It's something my dad and I used to do.
It's French Morrigan.
And Maëlle, who cares more about really living her life, not just living longer.
Gustav, are you real?
It's not all dark, though. Along the way, they meet various colorful NPCs and recruit Monoko, who is a friendly but kinda bloodthirsty philosopher and a fully playable character. He has a really cool battle mechanic where he can turn into the enemies he defeats.
What are you doing?
Oh, that's cool.
Foot! Aha!
He's very, very old and has seen many expeditions come and go.
This is where the
Gestrol, which are
JRPG vibe comes in.
as a form of meditation. They're fun and sort of ridiculous. You'll meet Monoko and many other Gestrols across the game.
Definitely go for the hero complex, yeah, 100%.
And of course, there is Esquier, who is one of the oldest and lore-wise the most powerful creatures in the verse.
Esquier is that powerful?
He will be your mount and help you travel to secret corners of the world.
What the fuck?
Bring him back his special stones, you can unlock abilities for him to access new areas of the world and find exciting secrets.
I'm getting a original Final Fantasy VII
For
vibe.
joining the expedition, and each of them has their own story arc and resolution that we think players will really connect with.
I don't know if I'm sold, but I'm warming up to this.
For our own take on the genre's core gameplay. Our reactive turn-based system takes the traditional turn-based battle mechanic we love and
Did
adds
make me
real-time
laugh, that's
reaction,
true.
which gives combat greater intensity and dynamism.
I wonder how
During enemy turns, you can
strict
negate all
they're gonna
damage
be
by
with that.
pushing or firing at the right time. But balancing turn-based with real-time mechanics took a long time to get right. During initial playtests, turn-based players often found the real-time elements too hard. Some of us are still traumatized by enemies from back then. We've done a lot of rebalancing since, and with a lot of iteration, we ultimately came up with a formula that we're proud of. Players who are good at real-time can take more risks.
I just had a
others can
thought.
counterbalance with items and strategies.
Is this the evolution of Dragon Age Origins combat that people wanted?
We spend a lot of time designing each character's unique mechanics and their custom skill trees. Our philosophy is making every type of playstyle viable so that everyone can have fun with how they play the game.
Okay.
Each character has a unique mechanic. Male switches between stances which can ultimately boost defense or power. I personally like to make Mel the protector of the group, but I'm pretty much the only one at the studio who plays her that way. Most people play her as a glass cannon with Gustav's complementary skills. The characters can also equip hundreds of passive effects, which in our game are called Lumina. Every character has more than 20 unique skills in their skill
This does
tree
look quite
and hundreds of passive effects
involved.
they can gain through Lumina and weapons. So there are a ton of builds and playstyle to explore. Needless to say, we can't wait to see how you choose to play and what kinds of build you'll design that we probably never even imagined.
No, it sounds like there's a lot going on, which isn't a bad thing.
Our story is set in the French fantasy world, and I was really excited to design something unique. Every level has its own color and texture identity. For
Okay.
example, the Gestrol Village is an early area in the game where players can enjoy a fun break. We wanted something that feels chaotic, grungy, and toy-like. It's basically a bazaar. Everything's disorganized, chaos everywhere, huts are unsafe.
But if you
without
take the real-time turn-based and
you at any point,
push them
which is pretty
further,
much what the Gestrols are like.
you probably have something like this.
The Gestrol village is hidden inside the ancient sanctuary. The ideas here were forest, labyrinth, and sentinels. I designed it as a vibrant place, like an old graveyard of Gestrols.
Yeah,
Forgotten
I
wooden toys in the box.
don't think I used it much in Origins. Turn-based is a tough sell in that kind of game.
From danger.
But a lot of companies, a lot of developers are trying to bring turn-based back in a
Same
way.
process with the characters. Minoko came in a single concept. I thought of a monkey-like body, white fur with a black and red flat mask.
Ladies, could I?
Ow!
Definitely a Gestrol.
For Escape,
Okay,
we needed
so
a cuddly companion to take us around the world. I thought instantly
there's
of a
definitely
giant
moments
inflatable
of
balloon
humor and
with
comedy in
Victorian
this.
pillows with many intricate motifs. We start with the core themes and ideas, and the visuals grow organically from there.
From the very start of the project, there was one thing that we absolutely wanted to bring back from older JRPGs. A feature we really loved, but is very rare these days. A completely 3D and navigable world map. Yes, we've got a world map.
Final Fantasy VII.
And it was a real challenge to create, both artistically and technically. And it ended up a lot bigger than we expected. You'll definitely need SK's help traveling around.
It's a really cool idea.
Though, as there's a lot of side paths and entire hidden levels. If you want to fight the toughest bosses of the game, you will have to explore. Good luck.
And I suppose it opens up that exploration element to it.
We've poured our hearts and souls into this game for the past 4 years.
This is the best preview that I've seen of it so far.
We're delighted to announce that Expedition 33 launches on April 24th on Xbox Series X and S. And
That's
is
two
day one with
big
Xbox
games
Game
for
Pass.
Xbox
You can already wish this
coming
game.
in April.
Follow us for more info.
And this is on
We are
PlayStation 5 as well,
super
just
excited
to
invite
confirm.
you to the world of Expedition 33.
Or at least it was.
We are a small, passionate team. It's our debut game, and we can't wait for you to discover our story.
We'll
our
try
world,
it, like-
and our take on the turn-based genre.
I don't know how far we'll get into it, but we'll try it, definitely.
Thank you for joining
It's one of the
us.
things I want to do this year.
Welcome.
Demain viendra.
Tomorrow comes.
Demain viendra.
Demain viendra.
Tomorrow comes.
Yeah, still coming to PS5, good. April's gonna be busy.